Hey, this is Wookie from Mandala Studios. Welcome to the workshop. This is part 4 of making a latex fish mask, Fabrication. To start with, we're going to mount the mask on a balaclava. It's an ordinary cotton balaclava that we've brushed latex on, and then we brush latex on the inside of the cast mask, leave it dry for a little while, then peel the mask in reverse back over the head form to position it. Start with the eyes and the bridge of the nose, and then work your way back out to the edge, neatening it up as you go. Make sure you get rid of any tucks. Then we position the ears, same way, just push those down, the latex sticks to itself nicely. Make sure the ears are symmetrical. Then we take some latex and we brush it around all the seams. This is just to seal all the edges down to the surface of the balaclava again. And once that's all brushed down, we just stipple over it with a sponge. Then there were some pretty rough seams around the ears, so we took some thickened latex, which is latex mixed with some cabosil, and just smoothed that into the joints around the ears, and then stipple that down with a sponge to create a pretty good finish. Now we're on to patterning the fin, so we just rough out a vague curve over the top of the head to start with, so that we just can get close to the head, so we can use that curve to give us a better position to start scribing the actual shape of the top of the head. Once we've got that actual curve that matches the top of the head pretty closely now, we just roughly mark in the angles that the spines are going to go at, and then once we've got those angles marked out, we start to think about the length and the shape of the fin that we need. Once we've got the overall shape and length of those spines worked out, we map them together and make a little paper pattern. Now to fabricate the fin, first of all we work out our size of our back rod, make sure we're using the right one. Then we just section off back rod to the appropriate lengths from the pattern. We split the back rod in half, then bevel the tip across to the flat edge, so that when they glue together they seam in and make a even curve. Then we position the pattern and some tulle onto a silica mat, and we start to glue up the spines as we size them up, cut them, bevel them, glue them, and we repeat this process for each spine, setting aside the half of the spine we're not using, because we'll need that in a moment. And once all the parts are done, we position the tulle over the top of the template so that we can see the template through it, and then we start to stick the backer rod spines halves over the template lines on the tulle so that we have them in the right place to make the fin. Once that's all positioned nicely, we peel the tulle up off the thing, get rid of the pattern, lay it back down, taking care not to let it touch itself, which is easier said than done. Lay it back down, and then we repeat the process by gluing the spines that we set aside earlier, and then glue them onto the side of the spines that you can now see to create full spines around the tulle. Spray glue is just spray, leave it for a few minutes, then let them touch together. So you can see we just line those up to create nice even things. Starting at the tip to make the bevels good. And there we have most of the fin. And you can see that sits and looks about right, so we've done okay there. Then we start to trim the shape of the fin with some scissors and a second pair of hands, because it's really hard because everything just wants to stick to itself. And there we have a fin. Now we're going on to mount the fin onto the head. So to do that, what we're going to need to do is trim away the tulle from the bottom of the spines, leaving a little bit of the backer rod exposed so that we can slot it into the sockets we made onto the top of the head. So what we're going to do that is just snip up either side of the spines to allow the tulle to fold out the way, and then we'll trim the tulle away to make it sit neatly. And you'll see this is just a real faff of trial and error, trying to get everything to fit in, keep it all in a vaguely straight line, and just keep trimming and moving the tulle and pushing it to the side and trimming it, and repeat the process, make it all just sit neatly. Then once the whole thing is sit pretty neatly, we're going to take some super glue. This is a thickened gel super glue, and just hit it with a bit of accelerator. So we just super glue in the socket, push the back rod in, hit it with some accelerator, and repeat for each one. We're using super glue for this because it's well socketed in. It shouldn't be under any real stress, so the fact that the super glue is brittle shouldn't be a problem for this. And we're going to reinforce it in a moment with extra thickened latex, as you see now. So what we're going to do is just paste some thickened latex onto the bottom edge of that tulle and around the sockets, and just try and blend the whole thing in together to create an interesting thing. You can see we've already made the ears. They're done in exactly the same way as the fin at this point, and we've added some barbels in there, just strips of back rod cut to a bevel at the tip. Yeah, it's just working along with some thickened latex just to blend the tulle into the skin around the brow. You can see we're not going too far up the tulle because we want to create a more ethereal, transparent look, so we're going to leave that pretty exposed, so when we latex it, it still retains some translucency and gaps. And there you go. That's it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe and all that good stuff. See you next time for the painting.